I got a couple guests joining me today. I'm very excited to be talking with Dawn Marie Smith. She's with Be Healthy Berrien. I also have Ashley Hines with the Benton Harbor Community Development Corporation. Very excited to be talking with both of you about something really cool. And actually, people need to listen up because there is a deadline coming up here very soon, and that is this Community Leadership Academy. What is the Community Leadership Academy, guys?
Well, thank you for having us, Johnny. Ashley and I are excited to be talking to you today. Ashley, you want me to take the first one?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, great. So the Community Leadership Academy is essentially a 10-week training program designed for Berrien County residents who are passionate about strengthening their neighborhoods and driving local change. So this curriculum is led by experienced community leaders. Hint, hint, Ashley over there. And the Academy essentially equips residents with practical knowledge and hands-on skills to address real neighborhood challenges and create change. So we're super, super excited to be able to launch this here in Berrien County. And I'll just also add that this 10-week program is modeled after a resident leadership academy based out of San Diego, California, that has a 20-year history of phenomenal results driving civic relationships and civic responsibility in the county of San Diego.
That's great. I mean, and that's something that you're not starting off with nothing. To be able to have this good foundation of really great stuff and really stuff that's going to make a huge impact into the community. And Ashley, obviously with the Community Development Corporation in Benton Harbor, you've been doing a lot of these things of, you've seen a need, you're like, okay, how do I make this turn into this? And you've established a lot of good relationships with a lot of different people in within the city or the other organizations that are around there. So you're really good at that, and the many people that you work with, and you're going to be a part of the discussions as well when people go through this, right?
Yeah, so I'll be serving as the main facilitator. We will have guest facilitators, whether they're political officials or other community leaders, being a part of this process as well. But that's the really unique thing about this, is that it is truly led and driven by people who have already done a lot of the work. And a lot of the barriers that I ran into as an emerging leader in this community and trying to get things done, it was often exhausting. And I think that the community leadership is designed to mediate some of the red tape that people often face. I think that we have a lot of great ideas in our community, but one of the barriers that I see when people often approach me is that they don't necessarily know the proper contacts or the right offices in order to see these things come to fruition. And so the Community Leadership Academy is really going to be designed to help people bridge the gap. A lot of it will focus on not just health related outcomes, but also land use, who the officials are when different planning commissions may meet. Also focus a lot on active transportation, which is something that we commonly hear being a topic of discussion in our community. Food systems, which is a passion of mine, civic engagement. And then one of the unique things about this project is that after, throughout the course of the 10 weeks, the participants will be charged with identifying their own community improvement projects. So a lot of things that you may talk about with your neighbors or on Facebook, this will be an opportunity to not just bring those ideas to the forefront, but also be able to connect with people and resources in order to see those things come to fruition.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And there's so many people that I'm sure you've come across, or anybody knows that person, or it maybe is that person where it's like, you drive by somewhere, maybe you volunteer doing something like, this would be great if, and you're kind of helping them kind of figure out the blueprint of, yes, this would be great if, and this is kind of how the good foundational stuff that you will learn to be able to do some of this stuff. So who would you like to have be a part of this Leadership Academy?
Ashley, I'll take that one if that's okay. So we are interested in supporting residents within the Berrien County area. So we know that the Community Leadership Academy was essentially born out of deep community listening sessions and assessments from community members in Berrien County. And these residents, they shared common concerns. And this dovetails back into what Ashley was talking about. They shared that maintaining good health was difficult, due to limited food, access to nutritious food, or there are fewer opportunities for physical activity, or a lack of safe or well-maintained places to gather and play. And so this Community Leadership Academy essentially creates the structure for those community residents to come in, and we give them all of the tools and meet with local leaders to actually drive the change together. So we are welcoming anybody in the Berrien County area to sign up and be part of this really inspiring project.
Yeah, and before we dive into some of the other things that might be going on and how people can get involved, the deadline to register for this is coming up here on Friday, right?
It is.
Yes. Friday, August 15th is the deadline.
All right. So how do we go about signing up for this?
Yeah, so you can find the application on Be Healthy Berrien's website. So that's behealthyberrien.org/CLA. And it'll take you to information about the project and also a link to the application.
And how do people get involved with this? I mean, obviously, you talked about some of the things that you're going to discuss. What are some other things that are going to be talked about or done during this? You said it was 10 weeks. Mm-hmm. So what are some of the other things or projects or things you're going to discuss for this?
So project management and project planning, collaboration, how to practice active listening skills. Today, everyone has lots of ideas, but sometimes we might not think about opening up our ears and our hearts to have others share what their opinions are. So it's really helping others develop those soft skills, but also those competency skills to actually drive change in their community. And then I'll also add that another thing that community residents talked about is that they really, not only didn't they have the structure, but this dovetails into what Ashley talked about, is they didn't also have the relationships with various organizations to do some of the projects that they want to, see in their neighborhood. So part of this will be convening with local leadership, whether it's, from the Southwest Michigan Planning Commission or from LMC College or from Logan Square Kitchen or from AEP. We have a steering committee that is made up of a diverse group of Berrien County residents. And we want to make sure that those participants actually convene and talk to our steering committee, as well as some of the presenters, because those connections are really important for us to actually bring it all together, connect the dots, and go out and actually drive some of this community change that we are aspiring to.
Yeah, a lot of the projects and things, they start with an idea, they start with a discussion, but if you listen and you have those discussions, you'll start to realize you all have the same common goal, or you may be noticing that someone else is doing the similar thing. Let's work together on this and make it happen and make it come to fruition.
Johnny, can I add to that? Because I think that you just really hit it. I mentioned this last week because we started to do interviews. And at one point I got really moved listening to some of the stories from residents that we interviewed, because it was just such a reminder that we all want the same things for our community, no matter where you live. And a couple years ago, we did a community trust survey in partnership with Corewell Health that focused not just on Benton Harbor and Benton Hines, but also in Niles and St. Joseph. And it was just really telling how there was just so much alignment in the things that we all not just want for our community, but what makes us feel safe and trusting in our community amongst our neighbors. And so that's one of the things that I'm really excited about throughout this process is the community that's going to be built through this, because oftentimes when you're trying to get things done within our county, It can often feel like you're doing things alone and that you're the only one that's speaking up about something. And so I'm just really excited about the connections that we'll be able to build and the work that will come from this opportunity for people.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic. And as you said, that deadline's coming up, and then that's going to be starting up here pretty soon. What's it cost me if I want to be a part of this?
Great question. It's absolutely free. We are offering this to any resident that would be interested, that can complete the application. We'll take them through an interview process, and then we'll hopefully be able to connect, convene, and drive some change together. I'll also note that we are partnering. So Be Healthy Berrien is partnering with Corewell Health on this project, and the actual community leadership program will be hosted at the Center for Better Wellness in downtown Benton Harbor. So we're trying to make it convenient for residents, and we're planning to have the program in the evenings. It'll start the third week in September and go through November, just right before the Thanksgiving holiday. And so we're just hoping that we're putting all of the right things in place for residents to come together and connect with us and drive some change.
This sounds absolutely amazing and truly priceless. It's things that you're going to learn, and you couldn't do it without the great support that you guys are getting for this. And I hope that a lot of people sign up. Love to get them on there. Again, where do we go to find more information and, more importantly, to sign up for this Community Leadership Academy?
Again, so you can find the application and more details at behealthyberrien.org/CLA. And there's also an email that leads to Dawn. So if you have any questions about the project, you can send an email and we'll get back to you.
Yeah,
we covered a lot with this, but this sounds like an amazing thing. And I hope a lot of people, take part in this. And then there's some big changes and, great projects that come out of it in the future among many communities around our county. So thank you guys so much for everything you guys are doing for this, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.